Friends, I knew like in the first 5 minutes of me being Avis over at the Philly, the airport, that this was not a good choice. We go over Philly because I got everything, I got online. Like I prepaid for everything online. So like at that point, you can't make any changes. You can't do anything. The only thing left to do is rent your car. I mean, go pick your car up or lose your money. Like, so I went over there and, I get in line and I seen this one, the one girl, it probably was about like 5 people who was up there helping everybody. So I seen the one girl and it looked like she was at like the end, like the end of her, transaction with this guy. And I was sitting there like, oh, okay, well, good. I'm minding my business. I'm chilling out, so I was on my phone looking at nothing. And then it was like 5-10 minutes past. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is taking so long? I thought she was like at the end. So like now I'm like I'm about to listen to see what's happening. So like I start listening, right? All of a sudden I hear him say like, yo, like, I'm just trying to be like your problem. So I'm sitting there like, really? Are we really standing here? Because like at this point now, it's probably like 5 people in the line. And I'm saying like, are we really standing here? Because like he's trying to hook up with her, like, come on, So he's like, yeah, I'm just trying to be your problem. I'm trying to get to know you. She was like, you are a problem. I wish you would get out my face. I'm sitting there like, okay. Like, I'm like, all right, Philly. Like, that's right. So I'm sitting there like, oh man, boy, I feel like you need to move on because boy, like she don't like you, So then he was like, what you gotta like be so mean for? Like, I'm just trying to take you out. Like, you should just let me come take you out. She looked at me and I'm looking at her like, what you looking at me for? Like, like, don't, girl, I ain't with you. I don't know y'all. She looked at me and then she looked at him. She was like, in what? The car you just rented from me? Hi friends, welcome back and welcome to Just With Me. If you're new here, I am Tiana. If you're not new, thank you all so much for continuing to watch. I want to tell you all about my experience at Avis, the Philadelphia International Airport. Do not rent your car from them. Okay, so let me tell you. So that's how it started. So I said, and like I said, she looking at me. She was a beautiful girl too, and her hair was so cute. But like she looking at me, I'm looking at her like, girl, don't look at me, like, cause I don't want him glancing back at me. We not together. I don't know you, girl. So she was all loud, right? So like people kind of like laughed a little bit. So then I guess he was like, let me go ahead and get on my way. So I go there. I say, yeah, I'm here to pick up, I'm here to pick up my car, So she go and she right there. Oh, at this point, my son comes in. Okay, because the car was for my son. I have a vehicle. My son was visiting. Let me pause because everybody always be like, my son, he's older, whatever. I was a teenage mom. Just want to put it out there because I always get like, oh, you have a son so much, so older. You look so young. No, I was a teenage mom. It was me and my Obi, and he has a great father, and it was a nice time. Like, not to say that it wasn't rough, because it was. I'm not promoting teenage pregnancy because I don't think so, but we did okay. Thank God that, we did okay. So the car, my son's name is Obi. So the car was for Obi. He had rented originally from some place that didn't work out. I don't know what that child be doing, but like, it just don't be working out. So he comes to me like, Mom, I'm so frustrated. My car thing didn't work out or whatever. So my car got canceled, and he was here visiting, and he was going to go to hang out with his friends and all this stuff. And I said, okay, well, I'll grab your car. Ain't no big deal. Like, it's no big deal. I'll get the car. So then that's how I ended up in Avis in the first place. So at this point, I was in there for like 15 minutes and I was still in line. So my son came in because he was thinking that something was wrong with like me getting the car. So he like, Mom, you okay? I was like, oh, no, I'm fine. It's this guy here who's just trying to talk, to this girl. So she gave us the paper with the parking spot and stuff on it. So my son and I, we go out there. We looking for the spot. We found a spot. Ain't no car in that spot. There's no car in that spot. Nothing was in the spot. So we like, all right, so we go back in there, and I had to get back in the line. And she seen me come back in. It wasn't like she was like, wait, pause. Like, come on up. No. There was no come on up, no nothing. I had to stand behind 4 people until they were completely done. And then I seen her again, like I was a new customer. And I had just left 3-4 minutes earlier. Like, it kills me. She was like, oh, along like one side of that wall over there, just pick any car. Just pick any car. And I'm like, just anything? She's like, just pick anything you want. I'm like, okay. Like, I'm thinking like, well, how y'all tracking? But you get skinned the way out. So that was that. We get the car. We get everything done. Like, that's done. So fast forward to when it's time for my son to go back to where he lives and go back to work and all of that. And he was like, so I was going to take him. He was like, had to be out there by like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I get off at work at 1 o'clock in the morning. So he was like, oh, Ma, I went on to the Philadelphia International Airport Avis website, not the general website, the Philadelphia International Airport Avis website. That's important. So he said on the website, it says that if you drop the car off before the office opens up or whatever, you would just go ahead and take the keys and put them into the Avis drop box. So I said, oh, good. That's great, because I don't feel like dropping you off. Like, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. Like, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm ready to lay down. So that's perfect. So he was like, yep. All right, bet, I'm going. I'm like, all right, son, be safe, our regular thing. Around like 5 a.m., and I wish I would have said the message, around like 5:30 in the morning, I get a call. Of course, I don't hear it. I'm knocked out. I get up maybe like around 8. I check the messages, and this is me here. You returned the car without the key. So you need to come on back up and give us the key. And I was like, what? Without the keys? So I text my son, hey, son, and I'm going to put our text messages so you guys can just know that this craziness is real. That you have the keys to the car? So then he was like, no, I turned the keys into the drop box. I said, oh, they're saying they didn't get the keys. He's like, it's all lies, Mom. So I'm laughing like, boy. So then he was like, well, what's I'm gonna call up there? So I called up there, the same exact number that the man called me from, and there was no answer. There was no answer. None. Look, no answer at all. So I said, look, I'm about to go up there because they're not about to charge me when the keys are there. Like, maybe they just didn't think to check the drop box or anything like that, but they ain't going to charge me when the keys are there. So I went to Avis. I stood in that line. There's the girl, not the original girl, but the girl I seen who I rented the car from, she wasn't there. So there was another lady who was there, right? So I went to her and I said, yeah, I got a call saying that you guys didn't have the keys to my car. What car did you have? I mean, just right off the bat, just ignorant. And I was like, and I'm telling her the kind of car I have. And she was like, oh yeah, there were no keys returned. Like the car, was there or whatever. There's no keys returned. The keys are supposed to be left in the car on the floor or something like that. And then I said, well, the keys would be left on the floor if the place was open. I was like, but it says on the website that if it's not, open, you put it in the drop box. And here she go. That website you on was the website in general. It does not apply to Philly. You didn't see anything about Philly, Avis. This is what you do. She was like, but there are plenty signs all around here that says to leave the keys in the car. And I said, that you are absolutely incorrect. And I said, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the Philadelphia Airport Avis website. And I said, this is your website? She was like, yeah, this is it. But it don't say. I said, no. So I pulled up and it said exactly what I told her. We followed directions exactly as it was written, which you're supposed to do if you bring the car back before the place is open. I was like, so I know what you're saying, but is absolutely incorrect. I was like, so the keys are in the drop box. My son said the drop box is right there. And I pointed to the box where he described it to me. And it was literally, I said, the box is right there. So that's where the keys are. And I was like, so I would like for you or someone to go and get them keys so you can close out my account, because I will not be charged for bringing in the car late when the car was here actually about 4 or 5 hours before it was due. So here she go. Oh, well, let me call the manager because I don't have the keys to that box. And she was like, and he has them. So I was like, okay. So by this time, she had no more attitude. Attitude was done, driven out by facts. But anyway, so she called the manager, right? And so then, or she called somebody, and then it was like, she was like, oh yeah, okay, well I'll let the customer know. And then she was like, oh, okay, so the manager left and he got the keys. So I was like, so what? Oh, so I don't know what you're gonna do, but we don't have the keys. I said, no. I don't know what you're going to do. I was like, because I'm not leaving here until something is done about this Dropbox. Like, why are you saying you don't know what I'm going to do? you work here, so she was like, well, let me call somebody else then. She called somebody else and he was like, oh yeah, I'll find the key. I'm gonna catch up with whoever. I'll find the key, whatever. So she was like, all right, well, you can sit right there. They're gonna try to find the key, so they can come on over. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, no, she said they're gonna get the key so they can come over, open up the box. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm sitting there and it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25. So I'm looking at her. She glanced at me. I looked at her again. Here she go, girl, let me call. I said, thank you so much. So she called again and she was like, girl, they can't find that key. Yeah, y'all don't know how I bust out laughing. I said, you said what? She said, girl, they can't find that key. They don't know where that key is at. The manager who went home ain't answering the phone. They can't find him. They can't find the key. I said, where is the car? Where's the car at then? Because I am suspecting that the missing manager has the car. Because if he is the one with the key to the Dropbox, who is now at this point refusing to come back to Avis and come and drop the key off. So I am suspecting that he has the key with him and his behind is in the car. So I said, so what do we do now, ma'am? I said, because I am not about to be getting charged for something that I did not do. I'm not about to do it. Like, the car was prepaid. Everything was taken care of. It was back 4 or 5 hours before it was supposed to be back. Everything on my end was done correctly. So I need some type of resolution, and something needs to happen here. And I'm sitting there, guys, and it got to be like another 30 minutes. So then finally somebody come over and was like, your key in that Dropbox? That's just what he said. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, well, right now, I don't know where that key is. Then somebody was like, there's some keys over here behind the desk. Now, the desk that she was talking about was the same exact desk that was there for the whole hour that I was hearing in here. It was that same desk. It wasn't a different desk in a different building. So I don't know what planet she was on when we was over here trying to figure out what was going on with that key. But anyway, so he go back behind there and grab this big, like the gas station bathroom keys with the piece of wood on it. So it was like something like that on it, and it was like, it had probably about 15, 20 keys on it. So then he was like, oh yeah, the key is on here. So he went out there, and I'm looking at him because the Dropbox, because I wanted to let them know. And then also, I didn't want them to be doing nothing out of the way that I can't see concerning that Dropbox and that key, because I'm not paying for it. So I'm sitting right there. I'm looking at him try every single key. He got down to that last key, and let me tell you something, not one of them keys went to that Dropbox. So I'm sitting here, and I'm just sitting here in disbelief. I'm just sitting here in straight up confusion. And I'm thinking to myself, this is about to go on my channel. And then there was a girl here who gonna say that she thought that my story times were lies. And you know what? That offended me, because lie for what? But now I'm just so happy that I have so many clips of well, I don't say so many clips, but so much of this stuff to show you that sis, I ain't lying, that my life is weird sometimes. Stuff happens to me that does seem like I guess it could be a lie, but it's not. So he said to me, he was like, let me take down your name. We're going to roll the cameras back and stuff like that. And we're going to see, like, you know, what's going on. So he was like, well, you can come back here with me and we're going to look at the cameras and stuff over the box. And he was saying that, so call your son up. So I called Ope. And I said, oh, what did you have on? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, the car is a white Chevy Malibu. You should be able, you know, to see him do, it was like over the whole parking lot, get it parked and all that kind of stuff. So we roll the cameras back and there is my son parking the car, walking up to the drop box, putting the key in the box. It was around like 3:30 in the morning, and he go and he get on the shuttle because the box was right next to the shuttle. On the shuttle, he goes to the flight. The exact thing that he told me that he did. You know, so the man says to me, look, this is proof right here that you did your part. I don't know where this key is. I don't know where the other manager is. I do not know what's going on, but it's always something going on here. That's just what we say. Yo, it's always something going on. Here's that, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm going to close your case or whatever. You don't have to worry about anything, nothing like that. Everything was taken care of. Like, you did nothing wrong. And he was like, and I was like, okay. Like, okay. And then he was like, Tiana, please, like, do not worry yourself. Like, I'm closing like this whole thing. So I said, okay, well, I ain't worried. I got in my car and left. Maybe about 2 days later, this is the email that I got. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure you all can see like the price on that. And sitting here right now, I can't even remember what the exact price was, but it was beyond ridiculous. And mind you all, this is the price on top of the $400 that my kid already paid for to rent the car. Oh, actually, it was more than that. It was $440, you know, to rent the car for the whole time that he was here, which was fine. Like, that's what we agreed to pay for, and that was fine. And when I got there, they said it was going to be also a $250 hold in case something goes on with the car or whatever. I already knew that, like, nothing's going on with the car. My kid is not an idiot. Like, unless he wants me to hurt him, the car will be returned back in the way that it was rented, and I'm going to get my $250 back. It's fine. So I get this bill. So when we do the math, we're talking about the $440 plus the $250 that they kept plus this amount. And I said, I know, ain't no way. I know they must be crazy. So I go back up to Avis and I said, excuse me, ain't no way. I said, what is this charge? And then they were like, oh, because the keys was, I said, let me see the people I was already dealing with. So the lady who was trying to find the keys or whatever, so she was coming out at the same time, right? So she didn't know what I was saying. She came out saying like, girl, they still can't find a key to that box. And I said, what? And she was like, no, they can't find a key to that box. She was like, as a matter of fact, ain't nobody looking for that key ever since you left, boo. And I said, oh, that's hilarious. I said, see, because look at my bill. She was like, And she was like, and you know what? We can't do nothing about that. That is closed. Once you get charged, it's closed out. Like, we can't even pull you out. It come up, it's closed. We can't make no changes, no nothing. I said, what? She said, we can't make no changes or no nothing to that. So I don't know what you're going to do. I said, oh, you may not know what I'm going to do, but I know what I'm going to do. I said, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to call my bank and I'm going to report this as fraud because this is exactly what it is. I said, I don't know what you all are doing, but, the guy was supposed to be taking care of this and don't worry about this and don't worry. And then here we are worried. I said, because what is this? You know, so I said, like, you know what? I'm gonna call my bank and I'm gonna report it. And I'm gonna say, like, these charges are not supposed to be here. And I'm gonna be very specific about what I tell them and the money that I report to them, because I don't want to report the money that we actually spent. We did use the car, but I want to report to them the $250 that they're not giving back, plus this extra new amount that they are charging that is unfair to me. I said this because my son was like, Mom, report it all. And I'm like, no, because we're not thieves. They are, you know, so that was that. Friends, let me show y'all like another little clip of maybe a week later, another charge. Right now, I'm not sure, but I think it's 400 and something. Another charge that I'm telling you, I cannot believe it. By the time that other charge came on, I think at this point, Avis was up to maybe between $800 to $1,000 for a car that I already prepaid for. I had already paid for this car, and yeah, I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So I called right back to my bank, and I added that charge on as first, and that charge on as well. And they was like, where were you at? I reported everything with them, and I was saying, like, these people are some thieves. They are some thieves. So now, like, right now, like, I'm slowly getting my money back as they are finding out the truth that I did not have that vehicle. They had it to where, like, I was, like, literally sitting in, like, the vehicle, and there I was sitting in my vehicle. At this point, the vehicle had been back, I think at this point, for like a week and a half. And here's the kicker, and this is what got on my nerve the most. See, because look, when I went up there the first time, right, she was like, well, what are you even doing here? Can I see your ID? Like, this is before I proved it wrong. And I was like, you can see my ID, but I'm a little confused about why you're so angry. Like, I was like, she was like, because I don't even know how you're here, because according to your thing, you were getting on a plane, you were leaving this morning. So, like, I don't know, like, how am I supposed to know you are who you are? Because this person is on a plane somewhere, but you're here talking about, like, you're not paying for something. And I said, what's so funny is that you wish I was on a plane somewhere. I said, and you know what? How many people have you all ripped off up in here by pretending that you do not have the keys or whatever, or is in, how many keys are in that box? See, and because then what happens is, you go and, because you got to write down your itinerary. So then you go and get on the plane. And then a good 3 days later, after you are somewhere, almost forgot about it. Like, because the charges didn't come for like 3 days. You somewhere at your destination, almost forgot about it or whatever. And then here you are now with this big gigantic bill, but you don't live in Philly. You don't live in Jersey. You're anywhere. You flew back to where you're at, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Because when I tell you that I probably called, before I was going up there, I probably called them people about 20 times. And when I tell you that they do not answer that phone, they will not answer their phone. And I don't mean like make reservations, the 1-800. I mean like I had the direct number to that office in Philly, and they will not answer that phone. And you know why? It's because they are a bunch of thieves. He is there driving them vehicles, doing whatever it is that he want to do. And for the people, I feel like they are looking at like itineraries, and I can't say this 100%, but I could just say from my experience that this is what I conclude. Like, they are looking at itineraries of people who are like going far or whatever, and then they are like literally just doing whatever it is that they want to do. Like, they're literally doing like whatever it is they want to do. But like I said, by the time they got finished with my account, they tried to charge like $1,000, but y'all can best believe that if I have to be the squeakiest wheel, I most certainly will be. I will get on your nerve in the sweetest of ways, because you will not rip me off. You will not act like my son did something that he most certainly did not. He is no thief. He is no manipulator. He did exactly what the directions said. It said on the box, still have your keys? Don't worry about going back to your car. Drop them here. And then you want to sit here and you want to tell me that that's not applied to you all? It says it on the box, girl. But I'm going to tell you something. I got every last dime of my money back. They are like, I don't necessarily know what happened with them, because I don't care. I know the office stuff is still open, so I guess they can't like super prove that whoever took whatever, or that, that my story, what I think they're doing, is actually true. Like, I can't say that, but like, I am glad that my bank really did like the job of digging into it, because it truly is fraud. Like, it truly is fraud. They truly did take the money. Like, They truly did. And they really, so I had to go and change like my card, close that out, just because of Avis. So be careful, friends. Like if you, oh, and Avis, them same people at Avis also owns Budget. Yeah. So, and the reason I know that is because the guy who said that everything was going to be okay, also, he came from the Budget, and he had on there that he was the manager at Avis and Budget. It's too much. It's too much. So when you go out there, if you want to rent from the airport, I'ma just wrap Budget in it as well. Because if it's the same crew, then it is the same thing. You know, so but definitely, friends, do not rent from Avis in the Philadelphia airport. Don't do it. Save yourself the trouble. Save yourself the people gaslighting you, making you think that maybe like you're crazy. You're not. You're not crazy. They're thieves. They're thieves. But that is that for this video. I do hope I have steered some of you all clear of Avis. And yes, be well, friends, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.